Well, hello, my name's Treesap, and I want to talk about House of the Dragon, Season 1 and Season 2 to some degree, because I was pleasantly surprised when I saw Season 1 of House of the Dragon, because seeing the trailer, I wasn't super excited, because Game of Thrones just let me down. Season 8, dog shit. I'm not going to beat around the bush in that regard. But even before that, it was getting kind of bad. It just took a nosedive off a cliff, and underneath that cliff was, well, a hill, and then it just rolled on down to Season 8. And yeah, unpleasant, particularly because I stumbled across Game of Thrones during the first season. I was barely even a teenager. I probably wasn't even a teenager, honestly. And it was just one night, came across like the fourth episode of Season 1 when it's being aired, and from there, I watched it from that point all the way up to being an adult by the time Season 8 was finished up. So my disappointment was massive. You watch something for years and then you see it just implode in such a, not even a spectacular fashion. At least if something explodes in some magnificent display of just self-destructive desire, it is something that you can be like, wow, I gotta clap at just how bad you fucked yourself up. But no, I was just like, damn, that's just sad actually. So seeing Season 1 and having to kind of bring back those feelings, because the world of Game of Thrones is interesting. I love fantasy stuff. It doesn't matter if it's light, dark, it doesn't matter in between, it doesn't matter. It's just something I do enjoy, you know? Cool battles, people fighting with swords, love it. Dragons, even more so. I'm a simple man in that regard. You put a dragon in something, I'll probably look at it. Like, yeah, dragons are pretty fucking sweet. So getting to see House of Dragon, getting to see dragons just be around and active and actually doing shit made me super happy. Seeing all these different cool dragons and their riders, seeing them fight, seeing them do, hell, anything. They could just be chilling there. And I'd be like, yeah, that's pretty cool. This was worth that HBO Max subscription. That's the only reason I even pay for that subpar service. And I didn't have much issue with Season 1. I could probably nitpick, and if I really sat here and thought for a long while, I could find something to be like, oh yes, that was very bad, and go on a whole spiel about that for who knows how long. But that's not really important. If it was worth talking about, I'd probably remember it. Because when I really don't like something, it stays in my mind. Especially with a piece of entertainment I'm paying to watch. I'm like, if it ain't good, I'm gonna remember this. And I'm gonna be very upset later on. Even a long period in the future, I'm gonna think back to it, and it's gonna make me like, this makes me very upset. And I can't really find anything like that or have anything like that brewing deep in the pit of my spirit. So I won't even try. Pacing of Season 1, great. Every episode felt like it was there for a purpose, and it felt like it was just like filler, or they were just setting up for something. Of course, things are being set up, but there are some shows where you just know it's a setup episode, and it's just like, okay, this ain't really gonna be anything exciting or really gonna like engross me. It's just there to see something cool later on. And that's not always bad, but if you can set things up in a way where I'm enjoying the setup as much as the conclusion, that's even better. I enjoyed all the characters. There were no characters where I was like, get this motherfucker off the screen. Like, hurry up. Let's go a little bit faster. We don't need to hear this person talk for this long or interact for this long. Just let them say something here or there to get things rolling, and then send them on their way. Now, I liked everybody. I was excited to see anybody on screen. Cool people, even the ones that I don't like them in the show as like a character because of things they do. I was still like, yeah, I don't mind seeing you. And of course, I have my favorites. I really like Damon. I really do. He's an asshole in many ways, but he's a character, you know, he's gonna do something that's gonna be given the fact that, at least from what I've read, the individuals making this show didn't want it to be 8 season. HBO, Warner Bros. And such decided on that. So who knows what they're doing in terms of their budget for this show. So this whole thing is kind of put doubts in my head and other people's heads that those doubts, you don't want them. Especially because plenty of people watching this show watch Game of Thrones, and those were the same people who were disappointed with how that ended. And you don't really want to kind of like spit in their face and kind of make them regret being so impassioned about this show you put out. Because you've garnered a lot of goodwill that could be taken, and you could ride that into making a whole host of other things within this world. You could give us a show about Aegon the Conqueror and his conquest of Westeros. We could see more stuff involving Valyria. We could see other things that happened all throughout this world and other places. There's so much stuff we could do that we're just possibly not going to get, because if this show crashes and burns, it's going to really leave a sour taste in people's mouths, and it might impact how people really go about investing themselves in more stuff involving Game of Thrones. And that's a disappointing thing to even think about, because I want to see more. But we're seeing the finale and just feeling like, can you just give a little bit more, you know? Just a little bit more. I don't know when it was decided that it was only going to be 8 episodes. I don't know how far in production they were. I don't know if this is something they knew by the end of Season 1's production, or something that was kind of dropped on them in a strange way, and then they had to scramble to kind of figure out how to fill in these holes and these gaps that were created by the fact they would have 2 less episodes to really get across everything they needed. I don't know. No idea. Either way, the end result is bad, so it doesn't really matter from an audience perspective. And maybe season 3 will come along and this whole season having problems will just be swept on the rug, because maybe this season will just be looked at, okay, it wasn't the greatest, but it was a nice setup for where we're getting in season 3, where it's just going to be just great episode after great episode of just action, intrigue, and interesting things happening. And by the end of it, people are going to be like, oh, a masterpiece. Pure cinema at its finest. And that was kind of what I was thinking at the beginning point of season 2, because there were interesting things that happened. We got to see changes in who was in power, these different dynamics between individuals within the cast. And those are things that I like to see. Those are things that kept me interested in multiple different characters, not just the big major players, but even the smaller ones, and thinking how this is going to progress. We even got some good action. We got some cool fights. Not many, but we got to see dragons actually dance. We got to see them go to combat with each other. And that was cool to see. I was hyped. I was like, oh yes, this is what I've been waiting for. So if they bring that back around in season 3, and we could really see this big battle, this big war for power, and how that all plays out, I'll be happy. I don't go into every show expecting to be a 10 out of 10, a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, and I'm still happy because I've watched a lot of bad stuff. And I, as an individual, don't really consistently watch things on a week-to-week basis. So sitting down to do that with this show really demonstrated that I like it. I really do. I'm a person who might wait till a season's over or something with most things, and then I'll just go through it and be like, okay, I'm having a good time. It's good. Season 2 come along, I might wait a little while, check that out, or I might keep up with inconsistently. I might wait a few weeks, watch 3 episodes, wait a few weeks, watch the next 3 episodes, and however long the show is, I'll watch it on an inconsistent basis. But I don't know. It just felt like they took that momentum they had from season 1 and kind of wasted it to some degree. They could have done better, I guess, or maybe they couldn't, given whatever was surrounding the show and its production. I won't be just completely negative and not give them any goodwill and say that they didn't have issues or problems that led them to be in this position. But I'm just hoping that when season 3 comes around, it makes up for the bad stuff that was involved in this season. And that's pretty much all. This might not have been the best review you've seen. It might not have really enlightened you on anything, but I don't know. I just had feelings deep within me that I kind of had to get out about this, and I've been kind of dwelling on it for a little while. And I just want to get out there. If you like this, you could subscribe. If you didn't like it, dislike, hell, unsubscribe. The few people that are actually subscribed to me, you could do that. But yeah, just appreciate you watching. Peace. I'm out.